Once again, thanks very much for joining us in this interview. And here's the first question right away. How do you see the future of printed newspapers in Thailand and worldwide?
Well, speaking only about the Thai market, I'm quite pessimistic, I think, about the future of newspapers as a printed media. I think if COVID has accelerated the transition to digital by at least 3 to 5 years, and I think what the last 2 years under COVID, under lockdown, under work from home, has taught many consumers and companies alike is that the switch to digital media is transformative, and it's not going to be reversed. I mean, it's not a cyclical downturn. It's truly a complete wave change. And so I don't believe that printed media is ever going to recover. And I think the numbers bear that out. I mean, industry-wide, I believe circulation for all newspapers is down at least 40 to 50%. And at a certain point, the economics simply don't work for publishers. Whether it's in terms of printing as well as distribution. And, another point to consider is that besides, the economics, I think there's a real sustainability question with regards to newspapers. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, I think, for many consumers to continue to accumulate dead trees in their homes. And that awareness that this is not an environmentally sustainable industry is growing. And that's another point to consider, I think, on why newspapers as a printed media is probably going to be very limited as a very niche product going forward.
Okay. Yeah, sure. You already mentioned digital media. So second question, which digital revenue models are particularly important for journalism in your view?
Well, I think, I was looking at some of the statistics from the latest Reuters Institute report about global media. And I think everyone is in a similar situation in that digital advertising remains a primary source of revenue for digital. That being said, I think most markets, including Thailand, see digital advertising as a very short-term channel. CPMs continue to decline. Competition is very high, and the disintermediation of the mass media or the traditional media in favor of influencers, micro-influencers, or pure digital publishers is increasing. So I think most traditional publishers is increasingly looking to a reader revenue model, whether it's through paywall or subscription.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So now we're coming to the corona questions, so to speak. What impact has the corona pandemic had on the Bangkok Post and the newspaper industry in Thailand in general?
Well, I mean, corona has had a massive impact on everyone, I think. I mean, you can separate this question into multiple dimensions. So, I mean, I'll discuss about the impact on staff, then on the impact on my customers, and then, the impact on suppliers and partners. So, on staff, I think the current number is that I've had 17 employees who have had coronavirus.
Oh, okay.
They as far as I think all of them have recovered.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, there has certainly been casualties
Yes.
among friends, family, colleagues. So very early on in the pandemic, we moved to remote workflow, work from home, basically impose social distancing. And so I think what the lesson has learned is that it's essentially forced us as a publisher to rethink a lot of our workflows that were paper-based, to accelerate new investment in telecommunications technologies, to improve our coordination and project management. And I think it's had a beneficial impact in the sense that it's probably made us think much more logically about how to organize work.
Yes.
So PPI is a tech company, so you're very familiar about agile work processes and codifying things in sprint durations. But I don't think that's part of how most newspapers work. And
yes.
Because of remote workflow and the need for tremendous self-discipline, I think, it's basically forced us to be more organized in how we work together and collaborate in teams.
Yeah.
In terms of our customers, well, I mean, COVID. So I said that I think overall, comparing the numbers today with pre-COVID, our total newspaper sales is off around 40%, which I think is not unusual for the industry. Maybe we might be a little bit higher hit because of our dependence upon corporate clients, whether it's hotels, aviation, or large companies, which have been among the first to close because of the impact on tourism and the lockdown in the country. But that being said, our digital traffic has also increased quite a bit. And our e-paper sales, I think, is up about 50%. So it's obvious that there is continued demand for news, especially reputable news. It's just that there isn't demand for the physical paper. Right. In terms of suppliers, the impact on, I think everyone has, the impact on suppliers is more economic. We haven't seen much impact on our logistics chain, except for, some concerns among our delivery boys and our production house. Basically, with the need to social distance, it becomes more difficult to organize distribution. Everyone is in masks, but I think that's probably not as much of a problem as some other industries might face.
Okay. Right. Thank you. So we are already coming to the last question, and probably you already mentioned a few things, but overall, what is your most important professional insight after a year and a half of Corona?
Yes, sure. That's a very good question. I'm thinking of the answer.
Okay.
I don't. I suppose the question is, did Corona teach me anything that I didn't already know? And I would probably say not really.
Okay.
Well, yeah, okay. If Corona has taught me anything, it's that, the first several months of work from home was I think most staff enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you felt safe. You didn't need to suffer through Bangkok traffic.
Yes.
It was relatively convenient.
Yes.
But after a certain point in time, you miss collaboration. You miss the informal discussions that you have over lunch or coffee that can lead to creativity and ideas and innovation.
Yes.
And to try to capture that creativity in organized Zoom meetings doesn't. I've been thinking a lot about the future of hybrid workplace and what is the impact on corporate culture. And I feel that there needs to be more attention done, at least from my organization, in how do we maintain creativity,
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, in newspapers, we what do we sell? We sell ideas. We sell thought.
Mm-hmm.
And creativity is a very, very much a part of that. And if you lose that, what are you selling? If you lose that, you might as well subscribe to a Google AI bot that will write the news stories for you.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if PPI sees this, but I thought the other day that traditionally when we hire new recruits every year, new graduates, we have very involved orientation sessions. We have them sit with each one of the business units and sit inside meetings to have them see how do newspapers get built and created. But now with this, I have some staff that I've never met physically. I've never had a chance to sit down with them for coffee. So I just wonder, are we losing something in that?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's been the key lesson to me. Not so much about digital strategy or digital marketing or the fate of printed media. I think that those were trends that we saw a long time ago. COVID only accelerated those trends.
Yes.
But hybrid workplace and the thought of this as being the new normal is something that I think needs some serious thought to see how do we maintain safety, economics from the corporate perspective, but maintain that creativity that I think is so important in an industry such as ours.